to the weekly preview show. We're going to start on week 3 because the commish was on some sort of vacation the first couple weeks, so he wasn't available. So
My bad.
That's okay. It's all right. So let's get to it. The first thing we're going to start with is week 3 matchups. The first one, because I like to talk about myself, obviously. Shocker. Bear Bashers and Five Swords.
Five Swords.
So that matchup was 12-1. The only take that I have on it is my team did not perform at a 12-1 win clip. Five Swords was just pretty bad. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I was literally going to say the same thing. I mean, the score shows an ass whooping.
Yes.
And it could be a trend starting for Five Swords, unfortunately for him.
Yeah. Next matchup. The commish over here versus Alaska Glaciers. There was a lot of close categories. It was an 11-5 win, which is a very sound beating. The biggest reason I had was the pitching. 10 wins out of your starters,
yes.
And a complete game shutout in there with a 112 whip, which was very good.
Yeah, the complete game shutout was big. The other thing that happened was I had a guy pitching Sunday night, and that won me 2 more categories, which flipped the score from 9-7 to 11-5. So I would call it classic outmaneuvering of Alaska Glaciers because he doesn't like to make moves. But with that being said,
he doesn't like to make moves.
I was funny you just said that because he churned a starting pitcher.
Yeah.
Historic. Historic.
Yeah. Did you mark it on the calendar?
Yes, I did, actually.
Okay. Then we've got Ben's Champions losing a close 8-6 over Joe Boo. Basically, I saw one glaring thing that there was a 40-point differential in batting average with Joe Boo higher. And if you take all the counting categories, just those couple of hits and stuff like that, that's why I had Joe Boo winning there. He had a big week out of Cano. Cano was hit 455, 2 homers, 6 RBIs.
Well, it's about time, and as the weather starts to get warmer, Team Joe Boo's Latin Island guys will start to heat up. As far as bench champions go, what do you expect when you have guys that hit home runs and don't hit singles? You're not going to win batting average.
Not usually. All right, and then Globo Jim with the 12-3 win over Zips. He had a 093 whip for the week, Globo Jim.
Wow.
I know. Isn't that nuts?
That is impressive.
But the batting average was only at 246. So that usually doesn't read if you're only going to hit 246 to actually get a 12-3 win. But he did.
Luckily for Globo Jim, he happened to be playing Zips, whose offense is absolutely awful right now. And I will also address this later as far as our power rankings. This could be something, again, trending.
I had 2 notes with this one. The Rockies started hitting for Globo Jim.
Ah, yes. Charlie Blackmon.
And Arenado. And Azuna came back to earth big time last week. He only hit 120. And that wasn't just a 120 where he was 1 for 9, which isn't 120. But you know what I'm saying?
Correct.
He had 3 hits, which means to hit 120, he was 3 for 30.
If you're going to rely on the Marlins to carry your offense, you're going to be in trouble this year.
That's true. So, last matchup, Pine Tree Lane wins 10-6 over Murderers Row, despite having a 5.43 weekly ERA for Pine Tree Lane.
Which is very uncharacteristic for a team that traditionally has great starting pitching.
The Murderers Row, the offense there was pretty weak. Again, hitting at that 246 clip. Ryan Zimmerman hit 500 and had 2 homers and 8 hits total, so he had a really big week. But that's the only notes. Well, Judge was the lone bright spot. Judge had 3 homers, 5 RBIs. He was hitting 300. And there's a cat in the screen. So, anyway.
My only comment to that was, very quickly, I don't really pay attention when Murderers Row's in a matchup. He's not going to do anything. He's not trying to win. He's just a set-it-and-forget-it guy. And unfortunately, it's the new millennium. You can't be a set-it-and-forget-it kind of guy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. He showed a lot of passion on the message board because he was talking about, saying how he was sad that he was never going to win again.
If only he put as much passion into his roster as he did to posting messages.
That's what everybody said about my videos. So, anyway. Okay, so the next part we've got the trades that happened in week 3. All right.
Can we even call them trades?
I don't know.
Can we call them giveaways?
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes, I don't know. We've got Ian Kinsler for Ottavino, which involved, let's see, it was Bob and...
That would be Zips and Globo Gym.
Zips and Globo Gym, yes. So, what are your thoughts on that?
What do you say? You traded a starting second baseman for a holds guy.
Yeah.
I know you're going to tell me he's old, he's going to start to slow down. That could be true.
Yeah.
You still traded him for a holds guy.
Yeah, which are all over the place on the free agent market. So, yeah, I just don't get it either. And, I mean, I know, just like he said, that maybe Kinsler will fall off a cliff and then it doesn't matter, but it's just the risk reward doesn't seem worth it. And the other trade, we have Aaron Sanchez for Jock Peterson between Alaska Glaciers and Ben's Champions. And I thought, I actually put in my notes, was there something else involved, ? Because I couldn't understand why he would trade Aaron Sanchez for just Jock Peterson.
It's a straight 1-for-1.
And
well, but don't forget, you at one time fell on the Jock Peterson bandwagon as well.
I do like him because he walks a lot. I know he strikes out a ton, but...
And how many categories are walks a part of?
On base percentage.
Yes, that would be one.
And runs scored because you're on base.
But that's provided you get...
Knocked around.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
But yeah, I mean, it's not that I don't like Peterson, but I feel like Sanchez is a possible number 1, number 2 guy. You know what I mean? In a rotation.
Possibly.
So I was
for a bad
surprised.
team, though.
Yeah, who knew they were this bad?
I originally, when I saw this trade, I was like, did this trade really happen? And then I was like, do I even care about these two guys? I've never been a Jock Peterson fan, and I'm going to be honest with you, I've never been an Aaron Sanchez fan.
Wow.
Or Aaron Sanchez, depending on how you want to say it. So, to me, it was a push, and I was just like, why?
Yeah. Okay, well, I think that takes... Well, no, we actually have to talk about the best moves and the worst moves of the week.
Excellent.
So, the first one, go ahead. You can talk about the one that Ben's Champions did that you
Yes, congratulations, Ben's Champions. Even though you lost your matchup, you did win the ad of the week. Steven Souza, with his whopping 5 runs scored, 2 singles, 2 doubles, 1 triple, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, and he hit .412. And you still didn't win your matchup. I don't understand.
Yeah, and I agree that Souza one's probably a little bit better. I also had for Ben's Champions Cesar Hernandez. I mean, he's actually the number 9th ranked overall player. Did you know he was that high?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, he's that high.
Wow.
Yeah, and he had 4 multi-hit games for
Sounds
Ben
like trade
in the
bait
last
to
week.
me.
Ben Champions, yeah.
Cesar Hernandez sounds like trade bait.
It does. I mean, I was watching him before because I was in the market for a backup second baseman, but Ben kind of beat me to him. So, let's see. Another good one that I had was Estrada as a pickup churn for Team Jobu. He threw 6 innings, no runs, 7 strikeouts. He's pretty legit. What's your worst drop? What do you have?
Well, my worst drop, and I didn't really think there were that many bad ones, so this is kind of a reach. But on the last day of Sunday, and I know we're getting ready for our next matchups, someone in the league dropped the 26th. Now, I know it's still early, but the 26th ranked player in our league just dropped him. Avisel Garcia. Congratulations again, Ben's Champions. You win that award for the worst drop of the week, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that, I mean, again, that didn't affect the matchup because, like you said, that happened on Sunday.
Correct.
Now, this one didn't affect the matchup either, but I saw it and I was like, wow, what a terrible drop. It was Kevin Kiermaier with Globo Gym because in the 2 days that he dropped him, because he did pick him back up again, but he was 5 for 7 with a home run in the 2 days that he didn't have him in his lineup. So, but again, it didn't affect him because he still won 12-3.
Correct.
So, I think that takes care of the Week 3 recap, but we're going to, I don't know if this is going to be a weekly segment or not, because I don't think there probably isn't going to be a hot topic every week. Do you think so?
Let me put it this way. If there's a hot topic every week, we're in trouble.
That's true. But for this time, we're actually going to have a segment called Hot Topic. Hot Topic. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the hot topic. And full disclosure, I have no idea what it is. So go ahead, take it away, Kamish. Tell me what it is.
Well, first of all, that's a lie. He does know what the topic is,
I do?
but
Well,
It's
I
been hot.
assume it's the
It's
farmers.
called Hot Topic because we have some people that are very hot about it. So, Hot Topic. So we tried this new thing this year called a farm system. We had this great idea of trying to preserve our prospects. And for those of you that are still not sure what we're talking about, we scrapped using NAs on Yahoo because Yahoo forces you to activate a guy from your roster. And if we're truly a franchise league and you want to run your own team the way you want to, why are we letting a website tell us when we have to activate our players? So, the geniuses over the offseason decided to get together and come up with a system that we thought would be beneficial and work out best for everyone. Unfortunately, we have a couple snags. The two biggest snags are with the farm system. Number one, guys that are actually in the majors, let's say the Amir Garretts, the Tyler Glasnows that are pitching, and they're owned by someone else, they are appearing on the free agent list. That can be confusing. I understand that. We tried to combat that by having a list. Yes, there's a list posted on the website that shows who everybody owns. Alphabetically, Jason, to make it easier to scroll down through. However, that hasn't been, and yes, there have been some guys that have been picked up that are owned, and for the most part, it's been a quick fix of a text message or a post and saying, hey, so-and-so owns them, drop them. That's fine. We expect that to happen in the beginning. The biggest issue that's causing an uproar is we have free agents who are farm system eligible that are on the free agency and are being picked up and used, but people aren't claiming them as farm system guys, so they're double dipping. So it's creating a little bit of an uproar because
They're cheating.
by the rules it is a violation. But remember, we only give warnings now, so it's not really cheating. Just saying. So those are the two biggest issues. I know that Bear Bashers here has his foot as far in the door as he can as far as trying to change this. And we are, as a collective group, trying to figure out a solution. I have 3 solutions that I'm willing to propose, and I'm willing to let the league vote on and decide on what's best and what to work, but I don't think that it's something that we need to keep talking about every single day. The first solution is we don't change anything. We have some hiccups. It's the 3rd week. Nothing catastrophic has happened. Yes, Bear Bashers did lose a category because an illegal player was technically used. I agree. Shouldn't have happened. But again, it's week 3. We're going to have some bugs. And basically the main issue is, and what I've been saying is, it takes 90 seconds to look a guy up, whether he's on the list or whether he is rookie eligible. And yes, the commish was even guilty of doing this. So, yes, I admit it. I was lazy. I didn't spend 90 seconds and look it up. I take full responsibility for it. Unfortunately, it cost Bear Bashers a point in our matchup, and there's nothing I can do about it. All I can say is that as a league, we're going to try and fix it and make it better. My other 2 solutions, which do tinker with the actual farm system as it was established. We go to a 38-man roster. We take everyone's farm system guys, put them on their 38-man roster. You don't have to worry about them being in the free agent market. What's the problem with this idea? Well, it's very simple. How do you police the Tyler Glasnows, the Amir Garretts, for when someone wants to use them? Technically, they have to drop a guy. Well, what happens if I'm forgetful of that? I see that I have Tyler Glasnow pitching, and I'm just going to put him in my starting lineup and not drop anybody. Who's going to police that? Is that really a solution? I'm not sure. I'm sure Bear Bashers has his opinion on that. We'll get to that in a second as well. The third other idea I have is any free agent that qualifies as being a farm system guy and is not on the list is fair game like any other free agent. It would eliminate the issues of having to look up guys that aren't on the list to see if they're farm system eligible. Now the first question is, but what if I want to make that guy my farm system guy? It's the same process it always has been. You post it, you say I want to make him my farm system guy, and he's yours. The obvious Snag with this one is, let's say someone owns a guy who's farm system eligible, didn't claim them as a farm system guy and is on their roster, and I want him. Technically, can I just post that that's going to be my guy? Yes, I can. So are these great solutions? No. My personal choice is the first one. Keep it the same. Guys that have been making the infractions are now more aware of what's going on and are paying more attention. I don't think we need to do an overhaul, but again, as the commish, I do listen to ideas. And again, I want people to remember that the whole reason the farm system was created wasn't because of an incident that happened last year. The farm system was created to keep the integrity of September call-ups because the NA system that we used to use doesn't allow you to keep your September call-ups. That's why we created a farm system. And I'm sure Bear Bashers has been chomping at the bit here. So what are your thoughts so far, since you have been a part of this hot topic?
I agree that, Bear Bashers, me losing the one category over that one guy isn't a big deal. But here's what I think is going to happen, and this is why I want it to go away now. In September, in those call-ups, there's too many new pitchers that are going to be all over the place, and people that are streaming are going to pick up those guys to pitch for them. When actually someone who really needs that player, you know what I mean, is going to say, wait a minute, this was my guy, and you're not going to be able to fix it because they have to clear waivers. Do you see what I'm saying? So they won't be able to get that guy to actually pitch for them.
They only have to clear waivers if it's not caught in the same day.
You're saying
you pick him up during the day.
Yeah.
If it's caught, when that guy gets dropped, he goes back into regular free agency. He's not on waivers.
Even if it's like an hour later?
Yes.
Really?
Correct.
Well then, because I always assumed that it had to clear waivers just because if I drop a guy and I'm like, wait a minute, I shouldn't have dropped that guy, and I go to try to pick him back up, it won't let me do it until he clears waivers.
That's only because you've had him for a day. So in your example, what you're thinking of is, let's say we have a team like Ben's Champions who likes to make transitions late at night.
Right.
So he does it at 12 midnight, picks up a guy that he shouldn't have.
Right.
Once we hit that 3 a.m. threshold, yes, if we tell him to drop him, it's too late, he'll be on waivers.
Yeah.
I'm saying, though, if we catch it during the day, let's say Team Jobu or even Bench Champions makes a transition at 7 a.m., if it's caught during the day and we drop him, he's not on waivers.
Okay. All right.
So
I didn't know that.
half.
I thought you had, as soon as there was a pickup drop, that it had to clear waivers for a day. So that's not as bad as what I originally thought.
I mean, it still can be the same scenario what you're talking about, which is a concern, which is why I tried to very slowly and politely say, take 90 seconds, look at the farm list. It's alphabetical. I don't understand how we're letting this go as far as from a commissioner standpoint. We all said the alphabetical list was going to make it the easiest way to check if someone's owned or not. No one's doing it. I'm more worried about solving the problem of guys like the Colorado pitcher who no one realized was a farm system guy.
Right.
So I'm actually torn between the first option I gave and the third option, which is anybody who's a free agent that isn't on the farm system list is a free agent.
Yeah, but I don't like the third option at all because I think that's way too confusing. I think that...
How's it confusing? Everyone that's a free agent's a free agent except for the farm list.
Right. But again, because they still need to look at a list. I like option 2. That's the one that I will be voting for. Now, honestly, I'm not impatient. I'm willing to let this whole year go through. I wouldn't, throw a temper tantrum if nothing's changed during the season.
So then you can still pick option 1.
I could, but I still think that option 2 is the better way to go because just like you said, there's too many people that make transactions at too many different times where it's not going to get caught. I know it. There's going to be that time where,
Okay, and that's fine. And like I said, I'll go with whatever the majority wants. My question for you is, what are you going to do when a certain individual uses or wins a matchup because they use the 38-man roster instead of their 28?
I get.
How do you fix that?
I get what you're saying.
And I think that that's a more plausible thing happening than...
Possibly, but like I said, option 2 fixes 2 glaring things. Those names are never going to be picked up because you're not going to see them on free agent. on the free agent list. You know what I'm saying?
That's only the
They're gone.
guys that are owned.
Well, yeah, the guys that are owned.
The instance that you and I had, that's still going to happen. They're still out there.
Yeah, I mean, it could, but I know that I don't think is actually, that's not even my biggest fear.
Okay.
Like, I think now that there's more of everybody's going to be looking at the transaction wire saying, wait a minute, is that a rookie guy? Do you know what I mean?
Are they?
I will. I know that for sure. So I think I'll catch that aspect of it more than I'm afraid that there's going to be a time where there's an Amir Garrett pitching and someone's going to pick him up for the next day and that guy loses. And again, obviously he'd lose minor league eligibility by the time the end of the season happens, but there'll be another Amir Garrett coming up. And that's where I think he's going to lose that start somehow because it's not going to get caught in the right.
No, you
know what I mean?
I don't disagree that could or could not happen.
Because there's guys like Tom, just like you said, who doesn't live on the website like a lot of us do. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
he probably only looks at it once in the morning and that's it sometimes because
Right.
he's too busy. And that's the kind of guy who's going to get screwed over in this deal. That's what I think.
I mean, yes, there is that possibility where that could happen to anyone. I guess I'm going to be voting for, because I am going to place a vote because I am still a team. I'm not just the commissioner. And it kind of plays off of something that you said. It's week 3. Let's wait a little bit. Let's see what happens. If we keep having problems, then yeah, I'm okay with if you want to tweak it for now. But it's week 3. And again, I guess speaking from the commissioner's standpoint, Mr. Bear Bashers, my other issue with this is, so we have a few mistakes going on in week 3, and everybody is arms in the air, and this is the worst thing ever made. We have a rule that's been established for 4 or 5 years now. This may not, come off the top of your head what rule I'm talking about. It's the minimum starting pitcher rule. So we've had that for 4 or 5 years. Do we still have infractions every year?
Yes.
Is everybody up in arms saying that we need to tweak it? No, why not? So why now is we have something that's not working out right away. We're not following the rules, and people are, because believe it or not, it already happened this year. We're in week 4, but it already happened once where someone had less than 6 starting pitchers. And technically, they used an ineligible player because they used a relief pitcher in his place.
Yeah.
Nobody's up in arms about that.
It's because they don't know it. That's part of it.
Correct. Well, and that's why I don't like the going to 38, because now you're relying on the person playing the person to watch their other roster.
Yeah.
And that's not going to happen. That's my fear is
Maybe.
you think we're all going to police each other? No. And if you guys think that I'm going to check everyone's 38-man roster every day to see who they played and who they didn't play, not happening. Not happening.
I get what you're saying, but I think it comes down to accountability on the GMs to actually look at the team that you're playing.
Why can't I just have accountability to look at a list? Or take 90 seconds and click on a guy's name to see his career numbers?
Because I know you think it's going to stop, but now we're up to like 9 or 10 times it's happened. I mean, this isn't just once or twice. It's literally like 9. 9 different times we've picked up a player we shouldn't have had.
I'm going to argue that number that it's 9.
Because it's been 2 more since the 7. I mean, you agreed with the 7, and then remember, who was it? Something just happened the other day, and he dropped him right away. Was it Tom? Is that what it was?
Alaska Glaciers?
Yeah.
Well, it was the Colorado pitcher. That's the issue.
Oh, was it him again?
It's
the same guy over and over again.
Right. It's the same guy over
But
and
either
over.
way, that's what I'm trying to say.
But that's
It
not a
keeps
list.
happening.
But that's not a list issue. That's an issue of someone not clicking on a guy's name.
I know why it's
So here's
happening.
something I want to throw out there. I want to ask that we give it a week or 2 yet to see how it goes. And if there's a guy you want to pick up that you've never heard of before, click on his name. Just click on his name. 90 seconds. If we have time to DJ, coach, go to T-ball, look at stocks, work out, do gymnastics, go drinking.
Do gymnastics.
It's true. Some of us do gymnastics. Drinking, watching movies. We can make time to do those things that take longer than 90 seconds. We as a group are saying, I don't have 90 seconds in my life to click on someone's name. Seriously. That's what we're talking about. 90 seconds.
Well, that they obviously they don't want to change that. That's all I can tell you. They're old and fudgety, and they just want to make sure they do it the same way they've always been doing it.
But it's funny because when you say old and fudgety, you think of Zips.
No, well,
and
no,
we're not talking about that. We're not talking about a guy
him.
who's the oldest guy in the league.
It wasn't him. I'm just saying, in general, like, people just aren't. They're not apt to change, and that's what this is. They have to look.
Then
and
why do
think
we ever
before they
make?
pick up a free
We
agent
should
list.
never make another rule change then, because people will never be able to adapt to it.
I know, but that's why under option 2, it fixes that. You're not going to be able to pick up somebody other than the 11th guy, the 11th farm guy. You're not going to be able to pick somebody else that's already owned by somebody else because they're on their roster. And I don't think it's as big a deal as he makes it out to be, because most of us have more NA players than actual guys in the majors. And I know what he's going to say.
I agree.
I know what he's going to say, that, that there's going to be more that come up after they lose their minor league eligibility. But it's not as many as you think, because this time of year, everybody is a rookie, because obviously the season just started.
Right.
But come June 1st, the guys that are playing every day are going to lose the rookie eligibility. So, like Ben's Champions, who might have 4 or 5 guys right now that are playing in the majors, even though they're on the farm list, they're going to lose that farm eligibility list.
But
So
remember,
he's either going to have to replace them with some NA guys who are just playing in the minors, which is a non-issue.
He's not going to, though. As he's proven, he drops one guy that loses his rookie status and does what? Picks up the next guy that's out there that, quote unquote, still has rookie status. Like I said, that's fine, but just remember, on those travel days, he's going to look at his lineup and see that he has guys like Matt Davidson, or when he used to have the Albert Amoras, who are going to say playing, he puts him in his lineup. That's done. It's over with. He's played him, and you can't take those stats back. Yahoo isn't going to do it.
I understand. So anyway, it's whatever. I mean, I guess you're going to vote when?
Well, what I'd like to say is, hopefully by people watching this video, can we please wait at least one more week or two, and then I will present these options,
Okay.
and then we'll vote on it. That's all I'm asking. Let's see if it gets worse. If it keeps getting worse, then yes, absolutely, let's fix it.
Okay, so we'll give an update on it next week.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay. All right, so we have one more thing to do yet. We have to do the power rankings for everybody. Yeah, like that. Okay, so we discussed that we've gone a little bit long on the hot topic, so what we're going to do is we're just going to end this video here, and then we'll have a special power ranking video, which will just be a couple minutes long. So this is the end of this one. Do you have anything to say at the end?
I think you're going to be very shocked with my power rankings.
Wow. So that's a good lead-in. Good lead-in.
Thank you.